Hi, this is Evan, and this is my 9-week post Achilles tendon rupture update. I'm on the non-operative path to recovery, so I did not have surgery. And a little bit of history: at 2 weeks post rupture, I went partially weight bearing, so I was on crutches, starting to put a little bit of weight on the injured foot in a boot. And at 4 weeks, went full weight bearing, so I was walking in the boot. And the whole time I had a 2 centimeter heel lift in the boot so that my foot was angled down in plantar flexion, as they call it. And at 6 weeks, started to take a little bit of the heel lift out each week. So during week 7, took the first few slivers out, and during week 8, in addition to that, I was on a vacation, started taking the final few layers of the heel lift out, and started to allow the hinge on my boot to go down to 10 degrees plantar flexion at first, and then 20 degrees. No one really recommended that, but I kind of like the idea of kind of waking my calf up a little bit, and that seemed to help. And I walked a lot during that week, something like 70,000 steps according to my watch. So that was one way of trying to sort of wake the calf up. And I seem to have a little bit of, you might even call it muscle tone in the calf muscles now, so that's a nice step in the right direction. One of the things that I had trouble with when I first started walking without the boot this week was a feeling of really strong tightness back here. Anytime I was walking and I tried to step forward of my bad foot, the tightness would really come on back there, and I felt very uncomfortable trying to push into it because I didn't want to cause any damage. So what my physical therapist suggested, in addition to doing heel raises and that kind of thing, was to do some work on the ball here. So just put my foot on it, and there, I can do a number of different things. Kind of roll it back and forth, and eventually try to work my heel down, and eventually it starts to loosen things up here. And to work on strength in the calf, just to use it as resistance, almost like a resistance band. Do repetitions. So my routine in the morning and the evening is to kind of do a number of these and roll it back and forth, try to work on extension there, and then just use it as resistance. So variations on a theme, but the ball is a pretty useful tool for this kind of thing, so I definitely recommend it. So in the online forums, people talk about status of 2 shoes, and I wondered what walking in 2 shoes really meant initially, what that looked like. So here is what it looks like for me after 5 days now of walking in 2 shoes. So walking barefoot is something that my physical therapist highly recommended. And the most challenging part of walking without the boot is to try to get a little bit of heel lift using the calf, because he hasn't had to do that in a couple months. But with the work on the ball each day to loosen things up, and a number of heel lifts each day to try to build a little strength, slowly but surely it's starting to come back. I'm not getting anywhere fast, but it's worth the wait. I think one of the takeaways from my experience so far is that I can definitely endorse the early weight-bearing option as a good way to get not only a better quality of life during the initial phases of healing, but it seems to be working out pretty well in terms of the overall outcome. My calf was just a bag of jello after 2 weeks of being in the boot and being non-weight-bearing. But after I started to put a little bit of weight on it, and especially after I started to walk on it, some of that started to come back. So even though obviously it's not ready for prime time yet, it at least starts to resemble a calf again after a couple of months. And I know that it'll probably take the better part of a year before it starts to resemble his partner on the other leg. And I'm told that it may never actually be back to full strength again, but I'm going to do everything that I can to get it there, and I think I'm in a better position to accomplish that by having gone the early weight-bearing path. So good luck to everyone, and happy healing.